Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here. Happy Red Friday. It's a big surprise, right? No shocker there. We're going to talk about, best practice and big picture, help you understand kind of what's going on with Bitcoin at this point, and just kind of bring up some examples as to why it's okay if you have a smaller, longer position right now. I'll explain what I mean by that here in a moment, but of course, if you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, I just hope you can learn something here today, of course. I love teaching people how to trade, and I really hope you can learn something. So if you want to become a better trader, CryptoCache.tech as a site, link in the description below. I offer a trading academy, community, and signal group to help you become a little more well-rounded, kind of talk some, I wouldn't say talk sense into you, but kind of be the voice of reason. And that's why I like to make these videos too, to kind of give you that foundation. So we're going to go ahead and take a look here at Bitcoin. And what's going on, first of all, is obviously we have a bearish engulfing candle. Now that's something I don't want you to be super overly concerned with, just based on the simple fact that it is a Friday and it's pretty standard. Today hasn't even closed yet. Okay, so we just got to keep this in mind. It's a little premature to jump to any conclusions, but obviously it's not a great sign. But let me show you some consolations here so you can kind of, I don't know, feel better about the weekend, right? So let's go ahead and take a look here. Now again, this no guarantees here, of course, but I marked the last 2 Fridays on the map here, essentially, and we'll just go ahead and mark today's as well to kind of get perspective. So this is the last Friday on the 20th, and we saw Saturday, Sunday, green, followed by a red Monday. Okay, interesting. We've got also a Friday here on the 27th, red day, big surprise, followed by 3 green days, and a doji to signal a reversal. Okay, so generally speaking, we can see a fairly consistent pattern here. And the reason why I'm not overly concerned with a long position right now, if you were to have one, because we have one open right now presently, you have these higher lows that are still occurring. So unless we can close today, I would say below 28,500, we still have a leg to stand on and we're still in good shape. In other words, we're effectively range bound right now between what was at the lowest point. Let's not worry about the candle wicks, 28,500 upwards of 31,800. So 28.5 to 31.8. That's essentially the range and the channel that we're in right now. So just kind of throwing it out there that, yes, we're nearing the bottom of this range, but we have effectively made higher lows. And the good news is here, this current low, even today, even though the candlestick hasn't closed yet, is still looking pretty decent in the overall sense of things. Again, it's a little too early to tell, but this is a consolation. Another consolation too is that we're kind of just trending right at the 20-day SMA. That's a pretty good sign. It really just tells us that we might actually be able to retest this simple moving average 50 on the daily, perhaps in the near future. I wouldn't say immediately, it's going to take a little while to get there, but generally speaking, if we were to retest 31,800, there's a great chance we'll be able to see that potentially broken this next time around. All right. So again, that's just generally speaking, not in terrible shape, but obviously it could be a lot better. It's been par for the course almost ever since November. So you just kind of get used to this general state of malaise and kind of just roll with it. The best thing you could do is accept it for what it is and move on, right? Choose what you want to do. Are you going to, invest dollar cost average, which a lot of folks are doing, and I recommend doing so? Or are you going to just wait for that one big buy at 24, 22, 21,000? It's really your choice. But if we take a look here, of course, on the monthly, we can see just generally confirmation that we're still underneath 50 on the RSI. That lasted for roughly 6 months in previous time frames, roughly 3.5 years ago, at 2018, 2019. So when we see this similar pattern arising, we can expect the price to probably come down lower. Will it happen today or immediately? Maybe, maybe not. I do feel like Bitcoin might have a small push up, because a main reason why I think that is if we look at the weekly, we've got 9, now 10 red candles here. Okay, that's never a great sign. But what's great about that is a signal in the sense that, yes, while this candlestick is tentatively red for the moment, if we can close this week green, which is possible with a green weekend, we could actually potentially see a little bit of an uptrend from here. Again, that doesn't mean it's going to happen just because we close a green candle, but generally speaking, 9 red candles in a row, according to TD Sequential and just any general best practice on trading, it's reaching an exhaustive state, and we shouldn't expect it to drop lower immediately. In other words, it would be surprising if the price just went straight down from here. And what I mean by that too is trying to get hung up on that because we're expecting it to go lower. It just wouldn't make sense for it to go lower right now. Okay. That's why with us being on a range right now, it's fairly safe to trade that range for the moment until it defines itself otherwise and we break these trend lines. Okay? So that's generally what we're looking at here. So again, the weekly and monthly still look terrible. There's no other way around it. The daily looks not so great. We got rejected at 50 on the RSI. Don't love that. And of course, we're trending, closer to the average volume profile for the last however many days. I don't know how long this has been. May 9th? We're coming up on about 3 to 3.5 weeks. So we've been in this range for quite a while. It's uncommon for the price to stay sideways this long. So we're going to probably see a breakout either up or down in the relative near future. It just kind of feels like it's what it's preparing to do. But generally speaking, the consolation, once again, is that we are in a position here and that the price action is actually looking pretty decent in the sense of higher lows tentatively. Today being a Friday, big surprise, even though it is, yes, currently a bearish engulfing candle, it doesn't necessarily imply that the price is going to just shoot straight down. Okay, it just kind of averages itself out and lets us know that it might want to continue lower. All right, that's generally the concept there. So taking a look at the 4 hours, see if we can extract anything beneficial. We're under all moving averages at this point, specifically under the 50, not a great place to be, but again, not in terrible shape. The thing I don't love about this is we are making lower lows on the 4 hour and lower highs essentially. So, unless we can reverse that over the weekend, then we might have a different conversation come Monday. But between now and then, still not super concerned with the fact that this here, even though it's not closed yet, is still higher than this here, right? So again, a close above 38,500 in the next 5 to 10 days would be just fine. We need to keep closing above that level, build that foundation of volume so we can increase the price. All right. So again, just a small handful of things. We're still under 50 on the RSI on the 4 hour, which is never great. So there's really mostly bearish qualities here that we can see for the moment. Now again, depending on your overall situation, it would be recommended not to take long positions, just based on what we've seen here so far. So what I'm getting at here is that we do have a long position open as a community, and I feel comfortable leaving it open because of the simple fact that I do feel like we're going to retest 31 to 32,000 in the relative near future. That's just my guess, or anticipation based on what we see here so far. But there's no doubt that everything is still screaming bearish tendencies. Okay, so just again, align your mind with the overall bearish sentiment. Until it breaks the descending trend line, we have to continue to confirm that that is the case. Taking a look at the cloud here, we're underneath the cloud now essentially, so this pretty much just tells us we have free range for the shorts to engage. In other words, we could very well see the price action continue lower based on the sentiment here. We're below the cloud, basically underneath the key level resistance or support, previous support. We're also underneath this support here as well at 29.8. So generally speaking, there's no reason to really open a long position right now until this phase is over. We want to see the lagging span intersect with the price action. But what I'm getting at is if you have a long position with Bitcoin or otherwise, preferably Bitcoin because most altcoins are getting wrecked, let it ride. It's really, there's a strong likelihood we're going to see the price action increase once more because it hasn't given us a reason to want to break lower than 20,500. And that to me is important. So just again, I don't know if it's consolation or if it sucks. I know the whole thing is kind of like whatever, but try to be positive. Try to align your mindset with just being a better trader, right? And how to do that is to have a good, healthy body and healthy mind. I was talking to one of my community members yesterday, as a matter of fact. We met for coffee, and it was really cool to be able to kind of just hear the honest feedback there. And I think it is important for me to continue to reiterate for you that trading isn't just a numbers game and looking at charts all day. Granted, it's probably a majority of it, but if you don't have a good foundation, good solid foundation yourself, you're not healthy in your body and healthy in your mind, then you're going to be in a position where you're going to struggle to be consistent. Okay, and that's again just something I like to teach. I teach that in my trading academy. So if you want to become a better trader, once again, link in the description below, CryptoCache.tech. Oh, I also do offer discounts for military and third world countries if you do fit that category. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look. I think there's not much else we need to really look at. Minus TD sequential here, we're at a 7. So something to note on the 1 hour, when you hit a 7, it's usually close to a reversal. So we might see about 2 more hours of downside, followed by a continuation of the upside. The key is for this next continuation to be higher than this previous high to break that lower low or that lower high pattern. Okay, So that's generally the concept there, is to, we'll probably see a reversal soon. I don't think we're going to see a tremendously strong sell-off here today. It does look like the bears are losing control in that sense, but once again, we still can't account for that. So I would just expect the worst and hope for the best, if that makes sense. We should expect the price to come down further. But we should also anticipate the price to recover moderately well, to retest its previous resistance of 31,800. That's basically what the charts are telling us right now. So again, doesn't mean we're going to see a reversal immediately here, but I do think we're nearing the end of this little downtrend. And there's a strong chance we're going to see the price action try to increase in the immediate future. And this next push, hopefully a strong push up to close the day, would be nice. But again, a close above 38,500 would be just fine in the overall sense of things here. Just because we close a bearish engulfing candle doesn't mean it's going to continue to go straight down. Obviously, it's not a great sign, but there's still other complementing factors here. And to me, the higher lows on the larger time frame is really important to acknowledge. And that's usually a sign that you have a nice, I wouldn't say a reversal, but it's definitely a continuation. So we're continuing to make higher highs and higher lows on the daily, not so much on the hourly or the 4 hour. Okay, so again, that transitionary time frame, we continue to do that on the lower time frames. Then obviously that will translate to the daily. And once we break 28,500, then I think we should be, a little more concerned. For now, we're range bound 28.5 to 31.8, and that's essentially what we're looking at. All right, well, I hope you found benefit here. Of course, if so, comment below. Thanks again to all the current community members that do comment frequently and just in general are engaged, because that's really the best way to learn, watch the videos, and help kind of extract that best practice. I don't think there's enough of it out there, and I really hope that you can find benefit here. And I do look forward to working with you if you want to become a better trader. Thank you so much for your time. I look forward to seeing you next video. Have a great rest of your day and a wonderful weekend.